let's get into it. Okay, so to get started, I started being in a coffee shop area. First things first. So, and by the way, the coffee shop is at Tim Hortons. It's a Canadian restaurant. I've been there a million times, and I I love their food. It's very delicious. So in this dream, the location it took place actually exists in real life. If you've not seen one of my past videos early on, it's the area. And so, that's, I happen to be in that area, and I came across this random guy. He's in his early 20s or late teens, somewhere around there, my age group, and we chatted a bit. We went outside the area, but unfortunately, it did not go too well. We somehow ended up in a fight. Well, kinda. I don't know what argument or what caused the fight, but we happened to fight, and we fought, we ran, chased each other, and it ended up really badly. So, as a result, I ended up stabbing him, and it hurt him. I hurt him pretty bad, and it was an awful feeling. And by the way, it's so weird because do you know what weapon I used to stab him? It was so weird. I stabbed him with a straw. That's right, a straw. A straw. So, I hurt him pretty bad, and I saw blood seeping out of his chest or something. I stabbed him in the chest, by the way, and I saw red blood seeping through his innocent white t-shirt. He was wearing white, by the way. I somehow ran because I was so afraid that I did not know what to do in that situation. How to approach now where I could have stayed in that situation. Oh no, I have committed a crime. That is really, really bad. I'm gonna tell you a little, it was really bad. So, I ran in panic. That I fled the situation, and I was just worried that things will go worse because of that. So, I continued dreaming other things after that situation took place. So after the incident, I started dreaming other things that I could not recall, unfortunately, but I could remember something like exploring an abandoned building full of graffiti and with water ditches. Like it had puddles of water at the ground, and that was all I could remember, kind of exploring abandoned places full of pipes and all that. And then, yeah. So later, the next thing I remember was that I ended up at this same coffee shop as in the first place where I met this random guy, and that I stabbed. I took a seat, and I enjoyed it, and I did not think much of that situation until then. This part, I heard people talking outside the coffee shop, and I stood up this situation, I realized that it's that I'm part of this. And yeah, else crap, it's the police. I see lights, and then I stood up, and then I decided to turn myself in because I knew it was over. Oh boy. I It was the longest part, and I moved myself closer, and I started to go outside and turn myself in to the cops. And while I was doing that, when I was making my way to the door, I heard the cops saying, "Oh, he's coming outside," something like that. Not 100% exact. So I went outside the two doors. There were two doors that you have to go through to go in and out. And so I went through all of these two doors outside, and I started crying because it was all over. I put my hands in the air, surrendering to the cops. I saw black police cars and a few cops. I forgot how many cops were there. And then they put the handcuffs on. I was apprehended. It was over. Busted. After the part that I've been arrested and put in handcuffs, I learned that the man that I stabbed him with this straw, recovered. Don't worry though, he did not suffer any major injuries. I just poked a hole in his chest, and I did not hurt him pretty bad, and that the crime I committed was just pretty minor. So don't worry, I did not kill him in this dream. Bad things, it's bad. And I don't know how I got this information, but that's what I've learned in this dream. So I've heard that someone told me that. I think it was from someone that told me in this dream. I just don't remember how I got this information that he was fine. So he recovered. And that information also stated that in 2 weeks he recovered. Something like that. In a few weeks. Alright. So the cops let me go out into the free world. But they told me that I'll have to go to trial. I was so scared. I was so scared to show up to trial. I was so young, and I did not mean to commit this little crime. And then this straw is ruining my life, this little straw. And then I'm doomed. I made this horrible mistake of fighting and stabbing him. So I asked someone I don't know, but it turns out that the someone that I asked was a black lady, and I kind of seen her. She had a familiar face from when I've seen one of my high school staff. Not really, but just how she looked like. I don't remember though. But all I know is what her face was familiar. And she told me that you should go to trial and say that you were scared and you panicked. You had to flight. It's like this flight or flight response that you chose to do the flight, and that you were scared, and then I should have done it. Like I should have stayed in the crime scene next time, something like that. So I took her advice. So my trial had no date. It was scheduled to whenever I feel like going, but I have to do it in that time manner. There is no date. I just have to show up whenever I have the time. So I show up to court, and the courtroom was really, really tiny. was like a principal's office. That's how would you compare alike? So we discussed the situation, and then, unfortunately, after I discussed what I've done, I did not remember anything the judge told me. I did not know what the consequences are. I did not know what else happened. So, I think this will conclude the video. So, this was a pretty long dream, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up